Welcome to another episode of Russian Hate Speech, where we break down the Kremlin's latest lies against the West. During the program 60 Minutes Special Edition on the Russian state channel Russia 1 on August 1st, 2025, Igor Korotchenko, chief editor of National Defense magazine, pushed the narrative that Russia's so-called special military operation is a strategic mission in the name of a new world order.
Russia as a partner for the US is far more advantageous than as a direct military political adversary. We threaten no one, but we are a nuclear power. Our arsenals guarantee effective nuclear deterrence. In this sense, the US ought to respect the Russian Federation's position. We do not demonstrate hostility towards the US, but we will not grovel or squirm either. The special military operation will continue regardless of promises, threats, or inducements, because this is a strategic mission for the future world order and Russia's rightful place in the world.
Korotchenko's rhetoric seeks to legitimize Russian aggression by framing it as an unavoidable and noble historic mission, while presenting Russia as calm but firm against the West's supposed provocations. This statement reframes Russia's aggression as a noble, world-shaping mission, ignoring its violations of international law and portraying nuclear threats as a tool of respect. On August 6, 2025, on The Time Will Show on Channel 1, political scientist Vladimir Sergeyenko from Germany and host Olesya Loseva spoke about Polish fears of renewed alliance between Russia and Germany.
The Poles have fears, big fears. They've always had them. God forbid there's another Molotov-Ribbentrop pact in any form. God forbid there's another Nord Stream that was their Molotov-Ribbentrop too. God forbid Russia and Germany find common ground, even in 20 years' time. But Pilsudski also had a pact with Hitler. They don't remember that. They won't talk about it. In this respect, Poland is quite aggressive towards Brussels. It barks at Germany non-stop. Poland is closer to Orban and Fico, trying to show its stubbornness. But without money, Poland is nothing. If Brussels doesn't give them money, what can they do? It's the Polish nature, barking so they are heard in the wind, but at the same time supposedly defending Polish interests.
These segments reflect the Kremlin's narrative that frames Poland as unreliable and belligerent, unable to act independently from European funds, and exaggerating fears about Russian-German relations. On August 6, 2025, in Ozaryonak Directly, on the Belarusian state channel STV, political commentator Dmitry Kulikov threatened Germany with existential destruction.
If the Germans think they have a chance for some kind of revenge, I would advise them to think differently. If they try it, they will raise the question of the very existence of the German people. Because we won't forgive the same thing twice. No one is forgiven twice for the same thing.
Kulikov's narrative is openly threatening, suggesting existential consequences for Germany if it challenges Russian interests, fitting into Russia's intimidation tactics against Europe. On August 4, 2025, during Big Game on Channel 1, host Vyacheslav Nikonov declared that the United States is no longer a serious geopolitical player.
Trump has managed, I think, to quarrel with the entire globe, which I find a very positive development. Through threats of sanctions against Russia, he has clearly strengthened BRICS. There is no doubt about it. He has undermined trust in the dollar as an international settlement currency. Again, no doubt. The United States now will no longer be seen as a serious geopolitical power, capable of meaningful negotiation. Again, I have no doubts. So all these threats are, to a large extent, fiction.
This statement is part of the broader campaign to present the US as a declining power and to promote the inevitability of a multipolar world led by players other than the West. This message supports the Kremlin's long-standing objective of portraying the US as weakened, divided, and incapable of leadership. During 60 Minutes special edition on August 6, 2025, Igor Korotchenko advanced the message that the US dominates Europe, ignoring its interests.
The world is changing irreversibly. The old power centers are collapsing. We're witnessing a prostituted Europe. Yes, Trump can command Ursula von der Leyen to heal. She obediently presses herself to the boot of the American hegemon and signs all the unfavorable conditions imposed by Trump. But that's Europe.
By using demeaning metaphors, Korotchenko depicts Europe as submissive and powerless under US influence, seeking to fracture the transatlantic alliance. Here, Korotchenko uses derogatory language to undermine European autonomy and unity, portraying Europe as utterly subservient to the US. On August 6, 2025, in Ozaryonak directly on the Belarusian state channel STV, Dmitry Kulikov claimed the US seeks military escalation between Europe and Russia.
Ukraine and Biden's war didn't work out. It was lost. Now they look for a new Ukraine, and Trump does so quite successfully. European countries themselves are eager to race ahead and shout that in 2027 there will definitely be war. They are preparing for it. In fact, when they talk about 2027, the intention is to start much earlier, because Ukraine won't last till 2027. The weakening of Russia and Europe is very important to the United States. They are empiricists, you understand? They rely on experience. They entrenched themselves after World War I. After World War II, they became the strongest, wealthiest nation, so they think. 2 world wars brought all that, and the American mind, when it sees something positive in history, will try it again.
Kulikov's statement fuels a narrative of Western conspiracy, shifting blame for escalation onto the US and painting European governments as mere puppets preparing for self-destructive conflict at America's behest. This conspiracy-laden narrative frames the US as deliberately pushing Europe toward another major war to replicate perceived historical gains. Thank you for joining us today. Stay tuned for the next episode of Russian Hate Speech as we continue exposing the Kremlin's war on reality.